Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the Matrix. Subscribe.
Finally blew the whistle on what she knew, and shortly after this interview, she died of suicide. She says disclosure around the UFO story will come out of Huntsville, Alabama. Listen.
Disclosure is going to come out of Huntsville, Alabama, out of Redstone Arsenal. Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama is the biggest fucking deal that you've never heard of. It's the biggest fucking deal that you have never heard of. Because the fact is that we have deep and wide, extensive credibility that no one knows about because you're not supposed to know about it. Because it's in Alabama, it's obscure. You're not supposed to know about it. That's the point.
People that don't know what Huntsville is. Amy
People
showed
know what Huntsville is? Is that what you're saying? People don't know what Huntsville is. Huntsville is the biggest fucking deal on the planet that you have never heard of. Now, like, Huntsville is the Silicon Valley of government national security technology and intelligence community technology and aerospace technology.
Listen to what you're hearing, right? She's saying that Huntsville is the biggest secret you've never heard about when it comes to space, alien, you know, this kind of very advanced technology. Okay, she died, and I'm going to tell you all about how she suspiciously went out in a minute, but she's talking crazy in this interview, and anybody that's got anything to do with this stuff in Huntsville, it can go wrong for them.
Huntsville is like the hub. Like, we are number 3 on the first strike launch list.
So she's saying that they're number 3 on the first strike launch list. If it becomes nuclear war, this is the 3rd most important place that America's ops are going to send nuclear bombs to destroy, because there's so much important technology there.
If first strike happens, 3 targets, Huntsville will be one of them. Alabama. This is Alabama, dude, in the deep south. We're in the top 3 first strike. We're in the top 3 first strike because you haven't heard of us. That's why. It's on purpose.
You haven't heard of them, but America's enemies have.
I started the Institute for one reason. One reason, the Institute. I started it as a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology through, because I told Mark this. If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, fuck you. They will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news.
Some people in the chat are saying, how did she find out? Or her dad, who worked there.
Things are about to get real interesting.
Is there any other animal that the government has specifically put restrictions on communication with?
No. The Marine Mammal Protection Act is fairly unique in its restrictions on interaction with wild animals, specifically marine mammals like dolphins, whales, and seals. While other animals are protected under different laws, such as endangered species protections, there aren't any other species where the government has put specific restrictions on communication or interaction in the same way. It seems like the government specifically singled out dolphins and marine mammals due to their unique cognitive abilities and the potential for unpredictable consequences if humans were to establish deeper, possibly telepathic forms of communication.
I don't think y'all truly understand what y'all just heard. We can literally, and I mean literally, communicate with dolphins, like actually communicate, have a conversation, just not verbally. And to prove it's real, they made it illegal so you don't do it. The fact that it's illegal proves that it's possible. Now, this is where it gets fucking crazier. People, they are keeping us from certain shit because they know if we tap into it, we are going to go deeper into an awakening. Y'all have no idea what the fuck really exists out there. And dolphins can help us discover new things that are on a spiritual level. You guys are so conditioned to believe that humans are the only way to reach freedom that you wouldn't even remotely even guess that a dolphin could be helping humanity right now. But anyways, let's keep going. Listen to this.
There were significant studies, including those led by John C. Lilly, who received funding from NASA for his research on dolphin intelligence and potential communication. If they had access to a kind of universal consciousness or could communicate with entities outside of the human experience, it would make sense that the government would want to restrict human contact with them, especially if they felt that dolphin communication could be a gateway to something far beyond human comprehension.
Now that you just heard everything you heard, really let that sizzle with your spirit. They just said dolphins can communicate with things that are outside of the human experience. I don't think you heard me correctly. Outside of the human experience. They made it illegal because they don't want you tapping into some shit that is beyond what you can even comprehend. If these dolphins are capable of tapping into higher dimensional things or things that are of love that are here to help us, doesn't it make sense that they would tell us, don't trust them? They don't want us to know what the fuck is really going on. Now, if dolphins can literally communicate with things that are beyond the human experience, they can definitely help us reach freedom and give us information that could help us and benefit us. This is how dolphins can help humanity get free, because they can give us information and teach us new ways of life that we don't even understand. Did you know that some of us here on Earth are not even of this planet? We are starseeds. And many of you are starseeds that forgot who you are. Let's go.
The chosen ones walk among us, often known as indigo, crystal, starseed, or rainbow children. These labels signify a profound purpose rather than mere titles. They are akin to angels who have ascended and returned to Earth. Their mission is to awaken other souls and guide them toward ascension. You can recognize them by their authenticity and purpose. They embody truth and strive to uplift those around them. Your journey begins with waking up on your own, unlearning the lies and deception you were programmed with. As you learn the truth, you're called to share it with other souls, helping them ascend. By embracing and living this truth, you can break free from the cycle of reincarnation on Earth.
You see, the new earth begins when we stop molding minds and begin guiding souls back to their own remembrance. Children don't need to be conditioned. They need space to awaken what they already are. From the moment this matrix starts, they put you in school so you can forget where you originate from and what you were here to do. Because if you forget what you're here to do, the things in control can't control anymore. So what do? Stop creativity and make you believe you're something you're not. A lot of people are stuck in this cycle, work, eat, sleep, because they don't understand who they are or what they come from. See, something interesting is happening in our solar system. The sun is releasing X-class solar flares, which is activating DNA in all of these star seeds. A lot of people are waking up and they don't know how or why, but they just are starting to understand the world from a different place. They're starting to walk in love and the truth and understand that unity is the only answer. The crazy thing is, star seeds have the ability to tap into telepathic and all different types of supernatural powers. This is why they put you in school, so you can forget your actual powers. But in reality, this is what's about to unfold. A lot of us have abilities that we don't even understand we have. Some of us have been chosen since we were born, and a lot of these souls are still being born right now. We're here for a whole different reason, people. This is what's going to happen once everybody steps in their power. But right now, we're living on this side. But once everybody steps in their power, steps out of fear and walks in love, this is where we're going to be. So no, you're not going crazy. You're not losing your mind. You were here for a reason. It's just about remembering why you're here and what you're meant to do here. We're not meant to work 24/7. We're not meant for that.
A Chinese restaurant is under fire after a chest was found with over 350 frozen squirrels in their walk-in freezer.
No! What the? Come!
Chinatown in New York City is on permanent shutdown after an employee reported a chest of frozen squirrels to the local health department. The Chinese restaurant is also now facing multiple fines and is headed to court next week.
No!
What the fuck?
First it was the cats. Then people said it was the rats. And now it's the squirrels. People are saying, where did they get the squirrels from? I'm guessing the parks. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't know what the hell was going on in that restaurant, but I'm glad they shut it down. Shut up! Sweet and sour chicken, right? General Toast chicken, right? Sesame chicken? Orange chicken? Right? Boneless chicken? What about boneless? Stop playing with me, son. It's not a camera, guys. You know what it is. Shut up! But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever go to a Chinese restaurant and I see squirrels playing around and cats playing around in the parking lot,
This is in Australia right now. They're already starting to see the food shortages. We'll go over the Strait of Hormuz in a minute because it's an absolute joke. At the same time, we're seeing all this stuff about energy lockdowns and limiting energy. We can't get fertilizer for the crops. And by the way, again, it's only U.S. allies that can't make it through the strait. Everybody else can get right on through the strait no problems whatsoever. Again, it's just the US allies, regardless what this country is telling all of us. You know, I've said before that we always see, you know, what's going to come everywhere else first in Australia and the UK. Now this part's crazy. The president says that they're about to work together, co-opt and co-manage the Strait of Hormuz. Well, then the Iran embassy posts this car with a little child steering wheel, like for Trump to use, and they'll use the other one. By the way, after he said everything was good, they started bombing again immediately after he said everything was good. Of course, the flights and the government shut down. They're now sending 5,000 more troops to the Middle East. I mean, y'all. By the way, this means boots on the ground. Read it. Things are starting to get really, really screwed up. Let me know what you think below.
Hey, did you know there's a massive fire going on at a massive oil refinery in Texas right now? It just happened. Yeah, look at that. This is the Valero refinery in Port Arthur, Texas. Explosion, massive fire reported. We're on a roll right now, baby. I mean, geez, things are going pretty good, eh? I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's fine. Gee, it's almost like there's a coordinated effort to like make fuel and gas and energy unaffordable for the common folk, for the low folk, for us peasants, for the Goyim. Goyim lives matter. But I'm sure world leaders and, you know, massive multi-continental conglomerate corporations, they would never do something like that.
Y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all did this, y'all broke it, so y'all need to fix it.
Economy is so bad. $33 for toilet paper? We can't even afford to shit.
Like, are we dead serious right now? Like, are we dead ass? Is this real life?
Look at that. You gotta be fucking kidding us, Robbins.
A regular Coke 3 for $20.97. Like actual soda, $21.
What the fuck? Used to get a whole cup.
$14?
$13.99? $14? For what, a gallon of orange juice? Y'all must be out of y'all.
For 2 pounds of lunch meat, $23. How the hell we supposed to feed our kids on this crap?
True, look at this. Look how small this pack is. Seriously? That fits like in my palm. Crazy.
The grocery stores are like, it look like it haven't even been touched.
Nah, groceries being this expensive for this kind of food, something ain't right. You mean to telling me they charging all of this money for food that is lab made, that is processed, that is machine created, bro? Not even handmade? Like, that's not even real food like that, bro. That's just not crazy. That is predatory, bro. They're taking advantage of it. I told y'all, bro. Y'all broke it. Y'all gotta fix it. Y'all gotta fix it. Bro, we used to have our own farms, our own fruits, our own vegetables, our own vineyards, bro. Why y'all did that? Why y'all did that? We were perfectly fine. Real fruits, real vegetables, real farms. Not everything is packaged, modified, and somehow it's still expensive and people are complaining, bro. That is crazy. Y'all broke it. Y'all gotta fix it, man. And the fact of the matter is, with the type of shift that we are in, bro, we shouldn't even be consuming this type of stuff because we don't even know what it is, man. But let me know what you guys think about the video. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
Grocery stores are like, it look like it haven't even been touched.
Did you know there's a hidden color code on your toothpaste tube? So here's something wild. Next time you're brushing your teeth, take a good look at the bottom of the toothpaste tube. You ever notice that little block of color there? It's always at the bottom, and usually it's black, red, or blue. Most people never pay attention to it, but what if I told you those colors aren't random at all? Yeah, that's right. According to this theory, those colored blocks are a color code that tells you what's really inside your toothpaste. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me here. The theory goes like this. If you see a green block, it means your toothpaste is all natural. Blue, that means it's natural but with some medicinal ingredients mixed in. Red, that's a combo of natural stuff and chemicals. And black black, well, that means it's packed full of chemicals. Now, this isn't just some fringe idea. Apparently, this color code applies to the majority of toothpaste brands out there. People in the know supposedly use this code to avoid certain types of toothpaste. Think about that for a second. Sure, this is just a theory, but doesn't it make you think? Why would these colors be there if they didn't mean something?
As we enter the fourth week with the war in Iran, the news today was all over the place. Donald Trump said over the past 2 days, the United States and Iran have very productive talks to find a resolution to this whole thing. And over the next 5 days, he's going to stop all military operation on Iran's energy infrastructure, which is incredible news. I mean, the stock market added $3 trillion in market cap. And then Iran said, we actually never even had dialogue with this guy. In fact, they said this was just Donald Trump trying to reduce energy prices and buy time to implement his military strategy in Iran. And they're pretty much saying the only reason for the next 5 days they're not going to attack our energy infrastructure is because they're backing down because we said we're going to retaliate to any attacks. So yeah, the news is crazy right now. It's hard to believe anything that we're seeing, but there's a lot of strategy happening right now. So when we get more context or information on any of this, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
What if I told you we're not citizens in a country, but that we belong to a corporate ledger owned by 13 families? Your social security number is a serial number. We're products. To understand the cage you're in, you must first understand power and control. I'm gonna take it back over 1,000 years to show you how we got here. In the 800s, power was land. But by the 1100s, power became debt. In 1307, the King of France tried to cancel his debts by burning the Knights of Templar at the stake, thinking he killed the bank. He's dealing with the same problems we have. The survivors went underground. They moved to Switzerland and resurfaced as the Jesuits, architects of the Khazarian trade routes. They learned the ultimate lesson. If you control the money, you have to be willing to kill the king. And so they did, over and over and over again. Since then, the rule was simple. Refuse the debt and you're deleted. They killed King Louis XVI for his crown. They killed President Lincoln over his greenbacks. I just told you about JFK and how they killed him for the silver certificates, not to mention Hitler. We also got Gaddafi, who tried to unite Africa with the gold dinar. They turned his country to ash for that. Or what about Saddam? He turned his back on the petrodollar. They hunted him down. I mean, we could even bring up Venezuela and Iran. All right, but let's take it back to the 1540s with the Jesuits. They weren't just priests. They were like the special forces, like the CIA, like the Mossad. They were designed to infiltrate every royal court on the planet for the Vatican. The Jesuits became an intellectual arm, the first global intelligence agency to map the power of kings. These 13 families became the custodians of the system. They didn't need to take over countries. They took over the currencies that the countries ran on. But let's close the gap and get to the 1900s with the Balfour Declaration. This basically gave Lord Rothschild Israel. And they did that to erase some debt for the British government, allegedly. Just like they do today, they fund both sides. If the king wins, he's in debt. If they lose, they become controlled by the bank. Fast forward to modern times. To keep you from waking up, they hijack the vibe. They financed 5 major Hollywood studios to script your dreams, including Disney. They bought the 25 biggest newspapers to curate your reality and program it. Consolidated the music industry into 3 major labels. Why? To frequency control your emotions. To tell you who to be. You were taught just enough to work the machines, but never enough to see who's pulling the lever. The mafia I speak of is not in the streets. Illuminati is not a club, it's a board of directors. You do not live in a democracy. There is no left and right. They're both funded by the same people holding up the strings. You live in a closed-loop economy where your labor pays interest on a debt that can never be settled. The legacy is not built on gold, it's built on your silence.
At 5 in the morning, this morning, this is what the Atlanta airport looked like. Lines out into the parking and drop-off zone because of the partial government shutdown. And then a Air Canada jet crashed into a parked fire truck at the LaGuardia airport, which both pilots did not make it. And then the Newark airport, which is called Liberty International, was also shut down because of a burning smell in the control tower. So what exactly the Sam Dam is going on with the aviation industry right now? And this isn't even, I don't see much being discussed here yet about the fuel crisis, the fuel shortages. I don't think it's hit yet. So this chaos is happening before the catch-up, because it's a bit of a catch-up game here with the Strait of Hormuz being closed, All of Asia's flights are getting cut, or some of them, you've been following the story. This is crazy, man. And I can't help but wonder, we literally saw in the movie Leave the World Behind, all the airplanes fell out of the sky, right? Maybe that was like an allegory for air travel is no more. Because we know they love to tell us stuff in movies and then it happened in real life. Which there's a certain word for that, by the way. Comment if you know what that word is or what that term is. But yeah, let me know what you think the angle is here and what's coming around the corner in 2030. Now, we're going to talk about the other angle here and what this is really all about and what it's headed towards on my Rumble livestream channel, which is free to download, free to watch, and free speech. If you want to tune in, comment the word Rumble below and check your DMs.
Okay, so I'm guessing you guys have heard the big news coming out of New York about the plane that's just hit the fire truck. Over 50 people injured, a couple people dead. The plane has literally been absolutely obliterated. Like, as you can see here, completely torn apart. Metal's folded, wires are hanging out. I'm just sat here thinking, hold on a minute. So a plane hits a fire truck and gets ripped completely apart like this. When, a very famous plane hits this skyscraper here, we're told that it was just what? Somehow just glides straight through it with no resistance, no, immediate crumbling. It makes no sense to me. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to sound crazy here. I'm just asking a simple question. How does this make sense? Because, the last time I checked, a fire truck isn't stronger than a skyscraper. So I'm just, wondering, like, what's changed? Is it the speed? Is it the structure? Is it the way that we were shown it on the news? Maybe? Or is it, just one of these things that we're just not really supposed to question? Because when you actually stop and compare some things side by side, it just makes you go, like, are we missing something here? I don't know. The one thing I do know is when you start looking into things, a few things in life just don't add up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And obviously, I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
These crazy facts about McDonald's you never knew. Did you know? McDonald's chicken nuggets contain a chemical called TBHQ, which is also used in butane, lighter fluid, and biodiesel fuel. This petroleum-based preservative keeps the nuggets from spoiling, but consuming too much can cause nausea and organ damage. The FDA allows it because it's generally recognized as safe in small doses. You're basically eating a tiny amount of lighter fluid every time you dip those nuggets in sauce. McDonald's milkshakes contain over 50 different ingredients, including artificial flavoring, corn syrup, and chemicals you can't pronounce. Real ice cream should only need milk, cream, and sugar. But McDonald's shakes have carrageenan, cellulose gum, and mono, and diglycerides to create the texture. The strawberry shake contains 0 actual strawberries, just artificial strawberry flavor. What you think is a simple ice cream drink is actually a chemistry experiment disguised as dessert. The grill marks on McDonald's burgers aren't from an actual grill. They're painted on with flavor additives before the meat is frozen. The patties come pre-marked with artificial char lines so they look grilled, but they're actually cooked on flat griddles. Those appetizing brown stripes are essentially printed on like food makeup. McDonald's has been faking the appearance of fresh grilled burgers with cosmetic food coloring for decades while calling it flame grilled flavor.
Can anybody explain to me why we don't have news coverage on what's going on in Oahu, Hawaii, bro? Like, I showed you guys what happened to Maui, but Oahu, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but Hawaii's dam in Oahu collapsed, bro. And I don't know why there's no coverage about this. Nobody's really talking about it. Now, again, they show you what's going on in Maui, but Oahu has it the worst, bro. Bro, y'all think I'm playing? Look at this shit, bro. Dogs are stuck. Look at this one. He's trying to find some safety, but this one says he's not going nowhere. This water is out of this world. I told you, this water is specifically coming up from under the ground. Oh my God. I don't know why this guy thought it was okay to keep driving. You see nothing but water. Your truck is not going to make it. Y'all ever seen water look like this, bro? This water almost look like me. What the hell? Look at this shit. That's funny. So much fun in it. Bro, when I tell you Hawaii needs help, man, Look at this. Look at people's homes, man. These were people who were on vacation. These were people who were on vacation. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, bro.
We are completely underwater.
Bro,
we are completely underwater.
Look at that.
Holy cow.
Look at the trees.
Insane.
Whoa. And then the rain kicked up again and the cars got more submerged, bro. Those cars ain't going nowhere. Bro, where's the news coverage? Where is Tucker Carlson? Why are they not speaking about this? Guys, I hope you have been taking this time to prepare for the changes that are to come. Just the fact that the government is not saying anything, like the news media is not saying anything about this, and they love Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the most precious states, bro. That's not a good sign, bro. This is not, look at this shit, bro. This is not a good sign. This ain't the first time they never spoke on situations like this, and it's not going to be the last time. In fact, we might be on our own, y'all. But I've been telling y'all, the shift is here. We're literally in the midst of it. Let me know what you guys think about this video, man. Oahu, let's continue to get it. Peace out.
Bless means be less you. A soldier is a soul dyer. You are weakened on the weekend. From the weekdays. Days is unable to think in a state of confusion. On the weekdays you work a job, which is Hebrew for persecuted. On that job you earn. An urn is a vessel for the ashes of the dead. Awake is a wake. A wake is a gathering that takes place before a funeral. Hollywood is the holy wood, the wood from a holly tree. This wood was used to create magic wands. They cast spells to a broad audience through the television, through the Hollywood programs. The bottom of the foot is called the soul, and your heel is hell. Your soul is in hell. You must raise your consciousness to the head, heaven. Heel is hell, earth rearranged as heart, and head is heaven. They're inside of you, not external places. They teach you to say the vowels in this order, A, E, I, O, U, to train you to become a slave. They want you to think slaughter is laughter. English language is full of hidden spells. Join my free Telegram channel.
Did you know about the birthmark theory? Almost everybody has some kind of birthmark, whether small or big. Some people have no birthmarks at all. The absence of a birthmark can actually mean a few things. According to the birthmark theory, a birthmark indicates how and where a person was killed in the past life. It specifically pinpoints where a person was burned, shot, or speared in their past life. That's why birthmarks can come in weird shapes and sizes, and no birthmarks look the same. If a person has no birthmarks at all, this means it's highly likely that it's that person's first incarnation and they haven't died in a past life yet. Now this one is very unlikely, but another possibility is that a person with no birthmarks passed away in their last life due to natural causes and experienced a peaceful death. This last meaning is the most profound one. If there are no birthmarks present, the person is spiritually evolved enough so they no longer carry the trauma they suffered in their past lives and are considered free.
They're not clones. It's worse than that. Everyone's talking about celebrity clones, but what if I told you it's not cloning? It's something the Bible warned us about 3,000 years ago. And you've seen it. Your favorite artist suddenly acts different, or your favorite actor, a different energy, different eyes, and people say they cloned them. But listen, cloning is the cover story for what's actually happening. The Canaanites practiced child sacrifice to Moloch, but it wasn't just killing. In Leviticus 18 and 21, they call it passing through the fire. They were performing soul transfer rituals, harvesting life force and putting entities into other bodies. That technology never died. It just went underground. When someone signs their life away to the industry, that's a covenant. It's a trauma-based programming, and it fractures the original soul. And rituals create the opening. The original person dies spiritually, and a prepared entity walks its way on in the same body, but a different driver. And that's why they seem off. In Mark 5 and 9, it says legion, multiple entities in one body, familiar spirits. In Leviticus 19 and 31, it says demons that mimic the person they replaced. This isn't new. It's ancient Canaanite tech repackaged for entertainment industrial complex. It explains sudden personality changes, lost memories, and different mannerisms, and doing unspeakable things without remorse, because their conscious left, and what's operating now is something else entirely. They don't clone bodies, they steal them, and you're watching it happen in real time.
Pedophiles are willing to destroy the planet before they own up to their own sins.
And if you think that it's all stopped and it come to a halt simply because we can't find Jeffrey Epstein and now this big war has started to distract from these politicians, if you think for one moment that these kids aren't still being trafficked, then you're fooling yourself. This is when it's happening even more than ever because the world is so distracted that the trafficking is actually ramped up. Everyone that doesn't find a way to speak up, speak out, take action, they're going to turn around in 10, 15 years, they're going to feel some type of way about themselves. A lot of people are going to suffer from regret.
It's the same script, the same cult agenda, just a different era of the sequence.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
Today, I authorize Armed Forces of the United States in a limited military action in Libya in support of an international effort to protect Libyan civilians.
Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested.
On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war.
We are answering the calls of a threatened people, and we are acting in the interests of the United States and the world.
Operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world.
The attack on Iran is part of this sequence I'm talking about. Just as the invasion of Iraq was, and the invasion of Libya and all the rest. And as well as being part of the sequence, it's also an attention diverter, and it's diverting attention from the real deal that's going on in the background, which is the incessant advancement towards AI human fusion and the digital dystopia agenda.